disruptive.
America that I fought for.
Weird thing to happen. So I want to take a second to mention about The View, because, hey, we need a little cringe here and there. And Whoopi Goldberg had some words about Joe Biden's performance that just exposes the lack of knowledge within that entire show, and just the lack of awareness of just the atmosphere within politics. Like, this is a millionaire living in her own bubble, up her own ass, and the fact that she is about to blurt these words to the audience, that even though Biden is incapable of simple functions, that we still gotta go with it. We still gotta go with it. And it just makes an absurdity of herself. Listen to this.
I'm just going to add my 2 cents because I wasn't here on the day that y'all talked about it. I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. Show me he can.
Well, for starters, Whoopi, if you didn't care, why even mention about it? Because clearly you do care if you have to mention this to your audience and to the panel, that I don't care if he poops his pants. I don't care if he falls off stage. I don't care if he falls asleep. I don't care about that. Well, clearly you cared enough to bring attention to this. Clearly you care enough that you have to express this on air because you missed the point right after the debate, so you have to bring it onto attention now. Clearly there's some reason you're bringing this to attention, so yes, you do care. And here's why that is.
I'm just going to add my 2 cents because I wasn't here on the day that y'all talked about it. I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. Show me he can't do the job, and then I'll say, okay, maybe it's time to go. Now,
show me where he can't do the job. You just list 2 examples right off the bat that can maybe say he should not be in control of a leadership role. He should not be commander-in-chief responsible for nuclear launch codes if this man is incapable of holding his bodily functions, holding his bowel movements, and finishing a sentence. I think that's a critical requirement for a leadership role, especially one that requires that person to talk to allies, to talk to adversaries, to go to the UN, to go to these G7, G20 summits, to go to NATO meetings, to take control of the economy, to take control of finances, to take control of policies and exports and trades and all sorts of things. But you're saying you don't care about that. You don't care about basic human functions as long as he's retained as the president. This is the obvious clue to show you that the Democrat, the libtards, the blue and non-loyalists are deeply trenched in their own cults. This is what it looks like when you're in a cult. That anyone that critiques their leader, even if they acknowledge it themselves, because clearly Whoopi Goldberg is even acknowledging that Biden has a lot of flaws. That he can't finish the sentence, that he may have pooped his pants, that he's incapable of walking off stage. Yeah, he has a lot of faults, but I still want him to be leadership. I still want him to be the top king. And why is that? Because Whoopi Goldberg is not aware. She is completely out of touch with everyday society. She's completely unaware of the casualties of the mass destruction within to keep Joe Biden in office. She's completely unaware because she's a multimillionaire hosting a daytime talk show that I'm surprised still people watch. And she does this show for about an hour a day and goes back to her penthouse and hangs out with her little bubble of other millionaires. He has no actual awareness of the politics, of the political system, of working class people, of how Joe Biden, how you pedestaling this and saying that you don't care about other stuff, saying that you want him to maintain office is damaging to the country, damaging to the working class populace, damaging to even the reputation of the deep state. Why do you think the deep state is even writing articles saying that Joe Biden needs to be removed? Top Democrat donors are canceling out his campaign. What does that tell you, Whoopi? But she would not know that. She does not know that because she's completely full of herself. Because she's stuck in this bubble. She's deeply entrenched in the Democrat cult.
He had a bad night the first time that he went out and debated with Kamala Harris. And everybody wanted him to quit then and say, you can't talk to women like this, or you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. He came back, said, you know what, I got it, and gave...
Yeah. He had signs of mental decline even back then. Even back then, people noticed it. Other people running in the Democratic primary in 2020 pointed that out. Julian Castro, what's his name, Castro? I forget his name, but one of the contenders of that primary even called out Joe Biden. Hey, did you forget what you said 8 seconds ago? Are you that old? They noticed this in 2020, but they don't care. They don't care because the deep state handpicks whoever they want in office. They figured Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they're such easy puppets that we can fool people, say they're such a good pair that it'll bring the soul and morality to the country. And then people like Whoopi Goldberg, who are trenched in the Democratic establishment, the Blue Anon cult, is just going to go along with it. And any critiques, even if she notices that maybe people are on the correct about this, that, oh, I don't care. I don't care. I still want him to run because I still have to believe that this guy is the top king. Because I don't want the other guy. I don't want the other guy. The other guy's awful. I don't want the others infecting me.
4 years. So yeah, I have poopy days all the time. I step in so much poo you can't even imagine.
Oh yeah.
Now
yeah.
I'm not running.
She's definitely had shit days. She has the highest mark in stepping in shit every single day. Going from her penthouse in New York to do this talk show that barely anyone watches. Yes, you have to deal with the most amount of shit every single day. Try telling that to the working class person that's working 3 jobs now to put a roof over their heads and can barely afford the rent and groceries and putting gas in their car. Tell that to the working class. I'm the one that has to deal with the most shit. I'm the most real person here. I deal with bad days. So, obviously, we have to have this demented circus clown as our president and let the country fall. Obviously, it makes sense to me. This is a brainless moron. If you had any cell within your brain, a functioning cell within your brain, you would backtrack so fast on everything you just said there and realize how stupid it is, how ignorant it is, how arrogant it is. Imagine the people that turn this on in their homes and they're watching this and Whoopi Goldberg goes on about how she's the one that's dealt with the most shit. She's the one that steps in the most poop. While people are struggling to make ends meet. She's never lost her job. She's never had to deal with the pandemic. She's never had her mom and pop business closed up for good. She doesn't have to choose between feeding her kids and putting a roof over their heads. She's never had to deal with that. And she never had to deal with that with Trump. Everyone keeps saying that Trump's going to make them lose their jobs and, oh, she's going to move to Canada if Trump becomes president again. It's never going to happen. It's all BS. It's all fake. It's all inflated. It's phony. And it's cowardly. And it shows the mass amount of arrogance that Whoopi Goldberg and the rest of the panelists on The View, which is why it's such an absurd show to begin with, how arrogant they are to the subject matter, that they would even say this out loud.
Running the world, but I don't know anybody who doesn't step in stuff at some point. So I'm just simply saying, there are two debates. And if he can't do what he needs to do for the second debate, I'll join any crew that says get rid of him. But loyalty to me, if you are doing the job, I might not like everything you're doing. I don't like it all. But I'm going to stand behind you like those guys stand behind the guy who should have been the person people were talking about saying, yeah, Biden had a bad day, but this guy couldn't tell the truth if it split his lip. But nobody said that, but Anna said that.
And then they go right to the reflex of, well, you know, Biden couldn't comprehend and told a bunch of lies. But Trump's the ultimate liar. Trump's the ultimate liar. So that's obviously the case. That's obviously the case. Case closed. Case closed. Let's not talk about that. And why is it that Whoopi Goldberg is such a brainless loyalist, to put in to coin the phrase? Why exactly would Whoopi Goldberg, even though she clearly, it sounds like she's self-censoring herself when she clearly notices that, yes, Biden has a lot of faults. And yes, he definitely did screw up that debate so hard for himself. Why exactly would she be doing this? Could it be the fact that she is a narcissistic career climber? Could it be the fact that she has been a celebrity for the last how many years and doesn't want to ruin that reputation? She doesn't want to step outside the establishment narrative. She doesn't want to step outside the maintained status quo that she's developed for the how many years that she's been famous? Could it be the fact that she does not want to actually take the time to invest time and energy into understanding why people are so supportive of Donald Trump, why so many people, including black and brown people, because they always mention about Trump being this white supremacist racist, and the only people that support him are a bunch of white guys. So why is it that people at the Bronx, in mass waves, why is it people of color in mass support of Donald Trump? They don't ever discuss that. They don't ever bother mentioning that. Because again, that will tarnish the status quo reputation that they had taken advantage of for so many years. And that's why Whoopi Goldberg is the ultimate loyalist. Because she doesn't want to lose her celebrity stature. She doesn't want to be kicked out of the club. She doesn't want to lose award show, meetings and banquets and lose contracts or upcoming movies. So she's going to make a complete ass of herself on her talk show. Say that she knows that Joe Biden is demented, but yet we still have to roll with it. Because I'm a loyalist and you guys are apparently idiots. Because you don't understand the troubles I've been in. Unfreaking believable. See the rest of this.
I believe, or something. She's not quite as colorful as I am. But the question now
Give me a chance.
The question now is, because lots of Democrats are coming out saying, find somebody else. But when we tried to do that with DT, this is my new way of just describing him. When we said, listen, he shouldn't be on the ballot. Everybody said, no. The people chose him. We can't take him off the ballot. Well, I don't understand why anybody thinks it's going to be any easier to take Biden off the ballot.
And why wouldn't it be easier to take Biden off the ballots? Could it be the fact that democracy in America is a joke and it's really an oligarchy, and the fact that the reason Biden became the nominee in the first place, a guy who barely polled 1% in the primary, became president? Could be the fact that we never got a chance to decide. Could be the fact that no one gets a chance to actually decide who the president is. That's all done by the oligarch. It's all done by the corporatocracy that's cultivated over politics. Whoopi Goldberg would have no idea what the hell I'm saying. If I was ever invited onto The View, which I probably never will, and I don't think I would ever take that invitation, because I know exactly how it would go. I'd mention these things to these ladies, educate them on why a demented circus freak, a demented guy like Joe Biden, became the president in the first place because the deep state wanted him, and how they rigged the primary to put this guy on the ballot. How they rigged they would have no idea. It would go right over their heads, and they would jump right onto the fact that I'm some sort of conspiracy nut, or I'm sort of Russian asset, or I'm a Trumper. I'm a MAGA person. I'm a racist, a psychopath, socio. They would smear me not 9 ways to Sunday, but not actually take the time to understand and recount all the steps that got us into where we are right now. They don't even understand how Trump got elected in 2016. They're still in the same boat to think that Russiagate is still a thing. Even though they know, and I know they know, that it was a hoax from the start. But they're cowards, they are liars, they are manipulators, they are selfish, they're narcissistic, and they're a bunch of elitists. They have no obligation to actually do anything for you, for your actual knowledge. That's why The View is such a garbage show for people to get their information from. It is absolutely insidiously crazy. And the fact that Whoopi Goldberg would say that to her own audience and to the panel, exposing her for just how full up her own ass she is. And more than likely, the reason she's, describing herself as the ultimate loyalist and why you gotta stick through with Biden, even though he's can't form a sentence or possibly pooped his pants and many other things, is maybe there's another contract nearby. Maybe she's trying to get a production deal forward. Because she just doesn't care. Just doesn't care.